Hello, and welcome back to Spiritual Astrology. And today I am filming the video, as you're watching right now, for Venus in Leo. So if your Venus is in Leo, this is, well, let me take a look at this, because Leo, in my opinion, is the sign of romance. You don't really see this often, but I believe it is, because Leos are emotionally dramatic, and Venus is the planet of where you like to see yourself and where you see people in relationships. So you may just be a bit dramatic and, at worst, demanding in relationships. But there's a lot of positives with Venus and Leo. For one, any Leo placement is loyal. And there might be a connection to your ego. So, in relationships, you want everything to be the best. You want everything to be dramatic and fun, romantic, pleasurable. You may like to, if you're in public with your partner, you believe that in relationships you need to show off the person that you're in a relationship with. At worst, though, you might have high expectations because you want your partner to be like you. And anything with Leo is a bit self-centered. So in a sense that you think that everything is a connection to you. That your Venus, you may put your Venus in a place that is the center of the universe. So you think that your relationship is the end-all, be-all. I personally have my Venus in the opposite sign, so I like to be friends with my romantic partners, which is probably a saving grace for me, because the other planets in my chart. But with Leo, it's the opposite of mine, so I'm just going to try to think about this. You may want pleasure and paradise and just drama in your relationships. So if you ever do date anyone that is a bit more detached, you need to remember this. And, while it may be a good thing to date people with their Venus or Sun or Mars or rising sign even in fire signs, there might be a bit too much passion here. And your Venus may expect it to always be passionate and perfect and loyal. And honestly, I'll be honest, any placement in Leo, in my opinion, is perfect. So you have these extremely high standards because, Leo suns do everything honestly perfectly. So with your Venus, you may expect things to be a bit perfect or a bit over the top. The worst thing I would have to say, I'm just going to go with this first, is that if things are not going perfectly or, to that excitement level that you expect, you may get bored or you may feel threatened and you may retaliate because you want things to be kind of high end. One strange thing about Venus and Leo is apparently there's a bit of possessiveness, but it's not too bad. But any placement with Leo is a bit, like I said, self-centered. So if you view anything that your partner's doing as a threat, or anything that you don't understand, you're automatically going to feel threatened or possessive about this. You want to make your partner feel special, and you want your partner to make you feel special, and you think this is how relationships should be. You think that any negativity or anything that's objective is bad. So you want things to be coming from a place of love and pride and attention, and you want everything to be this way. It may not be always dramatic. You may not necessarily want to see it as dramatic because you want things to go flow and steady. That's the thing when you read about Leo, is that it says, oh, it's dramatic and exciting. But honestly, I think Aquarius is way more exciting because it likes to go to extremes. Leo wants things to be perfectly in line, perfectly in the middle, perfectly between the lines, Leo wants everything to follow a certain structure and order, and it can't be a negative order because that's Capricorn, But with Leo, it has to be positive, and everything has to be just so, and you know, your relationship has to be the author of the way that you want your life to be going, because Leo is very authoritarian, wanting things to be a specific way. Love is very important, or the feeling of love, the feeling of affection, the feeling of attention. There's a difficulty in kind of finding a difference between anything in a relationship. You think that everything in a relationship is attached to the core. Like you don't necessarily separate anything in your relationships. You don't think anything should be separated. You think that, and you view things in an innocent way where love is all you need, in kind of a sense. Feelings are a bit interesting here, because while you are emotionally dramatic, you don't want to be vulnerable. Anything in Leo doesn't want to be vulnerable. You just want your relationship to be innocent, and you think that as long as you love each other, things can go perfectly and things can go well, and anything negative you might not open up about at all. Actually, emotionally, anything in Leo is not very emotional. So if you have, you know, your sun in a water sign, you might be a bit more attached, and you might want to speak to your partner in private about what makes you jealous, what makes you happy. But if your Venus is in Leo and you have other fire signs in your chart, you're probably going to be not emotionally open, and you're probably going to want to seem like everything's perfect, and that's not realistic. So anything in fire needs to just be a bit more grounded and start to realize that, you know, there are important things that you need to take care of in order to maintain a relationship in a healthy way. You're born as a romantic, like I said. You love to play up emotions. You want to make it seem like your partner's perfect and that you're perfect, but it's an act. So if you feel like you're not confident, you're going to fake it. And that's not a good thing. You need to kind of realize this in yourself, that faking anything is not good. And you may not think it's faking it, but anything in Leo, in my opinion, Leos have the tendency to lie or exaggerate or to fake just for the act of it. And that act may make you feel good, but you need to start to realize what is grounded in reality, and what to view things from the outside. You know, maybe start to ask other people. Don't take the questions personally. You may take everything to heart, being a Venus and Leo, but ask other people in your life. You know, go to friends and see if you think that they think your relationship is healthy. And if they have certain negative things to say to you, don't get upset about it. You know, act like a Virgo maybe, and start to learn how to be critical, like, of yourself and of your relationship, and start to see things from an objective outside point of view, to see how healthy your relationship can be in the future. So you're attracted to people that are colorful. You want someone special in your life. You want someone different, exciting. But you need to realize that things are not always going to be perfect. You can't just think that things are going to be full of life all the time. To you, they may seem boring or dull or upsetting, but it's just the way that things are going to be. You do definitely make things more exciting in your life. You act and perform, and it brings people to life. And in relationships, that romance is going to spark excitement into other people. Venus in Leo is not necessarily the best placement, but it's definitely not the worst. I think Venus in Leo is a good place for Venus, other than the fact that any planet here can bring a lot of ego and pride. So as long as that ego and pride is attached to things that make sense. So if you have a good relationship, be proud of it. But if it's going negatively, don't be proud, because that's where things can start to bubble up, and your anger might show, and your jealousy. But your attractive personality is going to bring people to you. You tend to listen to your heart, and you don't want to bring yourself down to all that negative stuff that everyone's talking about, and that's a good thing. Never bring yourself down to a negative point of view that other people have on your relationship. It's just about finding balance, because you can shine really brightly in relationships, like overly brightly, and your Leo, feline energy is going to get emotionally attached to certain things. So if you're ever feeling upset, don't, like, your natural tendency to be self-centered or to focus too much on your relationship and your own pride can be a downfall. So if you're ever upset, just learn to talk to other people that may have a better opinion. But, go to people that are level-headed and ask them, like, what you can do to fix the situation. You may want the beginnings of a relationship to last forever, but this isn't realistic. So, overall it's good. It's in a fixed sign. So if you're in a relationship, you're probably going to be steady and it's not going to go anywhere. But, there's going to be rocky situations where you want things to be loyal, but if your partner doesn't have a fixed sign core in their chart, just kind of realize that they're not always going to be as proud, as stable, as steady, as loyal, as optimistic as you. And don't take that in a negative way. Just realize that you have Venus and Leo, and that's really powerful and positive, but other people may have other things that they can contribute in your life as well. Okay, well, hopefully this was educational, and thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, do whatever. I don't care. Hopefully, I just want to know that I did an okay job at this video. And thank you for watching again, and bye.